Everyone, and welcome to another session of our Action Research, Action Learning online lecture series. Okay, and thank you all for coming. Despite the inclement weather, you made sure that you wouldn't miss this very important gathering. Okay, as always, we encourage everyone to participate in the discussion during the lecture. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, remarks, while the lecture is going on, feel free to utilize our chat box. Okay, just type in all your thoughts or questions or comments or anything that you think would be very relevant to the discussion. Okay, and at the end of the lecture, we will entertain questions. Okay, and we hope that JP, our speaker today, and the other action research experts here, we have Dr. Aguha, marami pa yung mga former speakers here, okay? This is the highlight actually of our ARAL online lecture series. We have a lot of action research experts, okay, who address your concerns and questions, okay? Also at the end of the Q&A, the leader office will be posting the link to the evaluation. So please make sure that you accomplish the evaluation form so that you can receive your e-certificate. It will go directly to your inboxes. Okay, so do not miss that.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Okay, JP Limweko is a candidate for our speaker for today. JP Limweko is a candidate for the PhD in science education, major in physics at DLSU University, and a scholar of the DOST-SEI. He is currently working on his dissertation on metacognition and 21st century pedagogies under the mentorship of Dr. Maricar Prudente. So he earned his MS in teaching major in physics degree at DLSU as a scholar again of the DOST-SEI, and his bachelor's degree in secondary education major in physics and technology at the Philippine Normal University as a scholar again of a DOST-SEI RA 7687. So he used to serve as a science teacher in the Department of Education for 4 years before he decided to pursue graduate studies full-time. So he is an active member of the National Research Council of the Philippines. His research interests focus on physics education, technology integration in teaching and learning, and blended learning and metacognition. Please let us welcome Mr. JP Limweko.
Very young looking and good looking JP Limweko.
Good morning. Can you see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
So, ayan, before I start my talk po, I want to ask everyone to go to, ayan po, wait, it's loading. Ayan po. Please join, please go to joinpd.com and then paki-input po ng mga codes na ito, STEBPJ. So you can use another gadget po, it can be your phone, or pwede rin po kung gumagamit kayo ng laptop right now, pwede din po.
Okay. Please say the site again because
joinpd.com. It's ano po, nasa screen po.
Joinpd.com. Okay, got it. And then what do we do next?
Okay, and so just STEBPJ. Stoic turnips, easily brother, purple jacks.
Okay. You got it?
So I have 21 students right now, 22. And let's wait for the others.
How are you feeling today? Okay.
So actually, this is peardeck.com. So if you're gonna use this in your classes, meron pong 30 days free trial. So ma-access nyo po lahat ng mga ano nila, para mga features for 30 days. And may option doon na you can ask your students to log in using their emails. So mas okay po siguro yon. Pero right now, hindi ko ni-require kasi para mas mabilis yung pag-access po natin. Okay, currently may 49 students na. Ilan po ba tayong participants?
Currently, we have 113 participants.
Okay po.
Yeah, 113.
112. Siguro JP, you just keep on instructing them because some are natatago yung screen sa kanila while they are searching.
Okay po. So anyways, naka-display po yung code dito sa taas. STEBTJ for those who are not yet inside the Pear Deck. Okay. So once again, maybe we can start now po. I'll be sharing some of my experiences in doing action research and of course yung mga insights ko on how to improve our teaching, especially sa digital learning, nasa distance learning tayo ngayon. And I know some of us are, and maybe all of us or most of us are very new dito sa sa way of teaching na ito. So this talk is entitled Action Research and 21st Digital Learning, Improving the New Normal Teaching. Okay. Now, I want to ask several questions before I start. Ayan, so ang first question po, is this your first time or maybe it's not your first time? So you can drag the icon. May makikita po kayong icon. So i-drag nyo lang po yon if you are first time or if you're not first time attending this charm. Okay, so medyo marami tayong first timers, which is good din kasi sa previous talks medyo marami nang na-share. Actually, before, nung in-invite ako ni Dr. Prudente to have this talk, medyo kinakabahan ako kasi ano pong sasabihin ko kasi ang dami na nilang na-share about action research. So I thought of sharing my experiences kasi I know all experiences are unique. So siguro naman magiging worthwhile yung oras ng mga tao or ng mga attendees dito. Okay po. So, next question. Where are you right now? Ayan. So, I'm interested na malaman kung saan nanggaling po yung mga participants natin. So, you can drag this icon. So, ayan. Para malaman po natin kung nasaan. Okay. Oh, it's nice. So, we have participants from Mindanao, from Visayas, and Luzon. Meron pang overseas. Wow. Hello from sa mga participants from Davao City, Cagayan, De Oro, Iligan. Meron pang from Cebu. Okay, and karamihan din dito sa Luzon. And meron pa sa Bicol, Masbate, Lawag. Wow. So it's interesting to know, no, na this kind of webinars, we can connect people from other places, even from overseas.
I like this particular thing, JP.
Yes, so thank you.
Maybe I'll do the same thing. Good.
Parang nakikita ko yung ano yung sa Palawan Express.
Wala tayong participants sa Palawan, ano?
Yes po, parang wala.
Parang wala. But we have participants as far as Davao. Tama ba?
Yes po, sa Davao.
CDO. I see.
Nice.
And we have overseas too.
Are the keywords. The
This is in Mindanao, there are a lot, no?
As a researcher, when you do internet-based research.
JP, there are people who are asking how to get here, and those who just came in.
So, or the
Again po?
engines.
Yeah, there are people who are asking how to get to this, to this side. Who just came in.
After this, after this talk,
corner.
so masasave ko po yung mga responses, lahat po ng mga ginawa natin dito, and then I can share them sa Google Drive. Maybe I can send the link of the Google Drive so they can access the responses.
But
and
those,
of course, the presentation.
To those who just came in, actually, go to joinpd.com.
Okay, joinpd.com. And then you can see po the code here, STEBTJ. Joinpd.com. Ito po actually. Yan.
Yan.
Okay. So, siguro po okay na to, no? Ayun na lang po. Next question. How long have you been teaching? Okay, so as we can see, marami pong marami naka-concentrate na dots dito sa medyo baguhan pa lang or sa 0. Maybe these are pre-service teachers, I think. And eto naman, ayan, marami din dito sa first timers sa wait, ano po nangyari? Yan. Ayan, meron din tayong mga seasoned teachers. Masasabi ko bang seasoned? Like 23 years? Siguro. Ayan, so ngayon, nakikita ko na maraming iba't iba tayo ng location, iba't iba tayo ng number of years of experience, iba-iba din tayo. So basically, possible na iba-iba din tayo ng problems na encounter, di ba? So may question pa ako dito ng isa. I'm teaching in. Okay, are you teaching in the junior high school, elementary, senior high school, or higher education? Okay, so marami tayong participants from the senior high school and higher education. Meron din from junior high school, and ang pinaka-konti, pero at least may nag-join, di ba? From elementary. So it's nice to know na we are from different levels. So sabi ko nga kanina, we are from different locations. We have different years of experience in teaching. We have different setups. May yung nagtuturo sa elementary, sa junior high school, senior high school, and meron this higher education. That means we can encounter different types of problems. So do you agree? So yeah. So iba-iba tayo ng problema. And it will be interesting to know what are the problems encountered by different teachers in different settings. So I want you to access this. Okay, so you can use your phone to scan the QR code, or pwede may clickable link diyan sa sa Pear Deck. So you can access this. And when you click the link, zip muna natin. So dadalhin po kayo dito. So let me see kung meron na dito. Okay. So meron na pong mga tao na nandito or mga participants. So 34 participants. So ayan. What I want you to do is to pwede kayong you can use your last name and first name na initial lang para may unique kayo code, or kung hinahihiya naman kayo na i-show yung pangalan nyo, you can just use a code. So makikita nyo po dyan kung aling part yung meron ng nag-edit. So kung nakikita nyo na may space pa, or you can use space below. So what I want you to do is to describe your current setting. Let's say I'm teaching in junior high school and my intended participants are my students. Or pwede rin na yung mga co-teachers ko. So describe your setting. So ayan, we're currently editing one file at the same time. So pwede, siguro magagamit natin to as one of the tools para ma-encourage natin yung collaboration among our students. Ayan, I'm teaching SHS, intended participants. Okay. Okay, after you describe your setting and participants, I want you to identify one significant problem that you're currently experiencing. Siguro related, mas maganda kung related sa distance learning or digital learning. Huwag niyo mo po nang galawin tong proposed change. By the way, sa mga bago po, you can join us by clicking, wait. Ayan po. Ay, wait lang. This one. Ay, hindi pala yun. Okay, so you can join us by entering joinpd.com. Ito po, nasa screen. And then enter STEBPJ. Make sure to enter the code kasi para makapasok po kayo dun sa class. You can use any phone or any browser. Sige, tingnan natin yung nangyayari dito sa Ayan. So, meron na tayong mga inputs from our participants. Okay, some of the problems dito. Problem on online learning in grade 4 science. So, what specific problem po kaya? Like, nahirapan sa participation or internet connectivity? So, make it specific po as much as possible. Ayan, internet connectivity, competence in delivering distance education, and mental health. I think ito sa, siguro nahihirapan siyang, or on how to improve the delivery. Okay. Implementation of flexible learning, both teaching online and modular. Okay. So workload, lack of learner support, connectivity issues, laboratory activities, student engagement and motivation. Okay, student comprehension, students repetitive request of reopening of what? Ay, ano po, sa bago po, later na po yung proposed changes and expected outcome. So ano muna pa tayo, no? Description of our setting and problem. Okay, later na po tayo magbigay ng proposed changes, no? Kasi we have time for that. Okay, so it's good to see na medyo maraming variety of problems na encounter. Itong volume management of timely feedback. Ayan, timely feedback that I need to provide to students. So that's critical, di ba? Timely feedback. Okay, different cultures or culture, some students can be disruptive during lecture. Okay. Attention span in the online modality. So, common talaga to. Mahirap talagang i-maintain kasi nga, di ba, sa face-to-face classroom, nahihirapan na tayong i-manage yung mga students, ma-maintain yung nila, yung attention. What more kung nasa online learning, di ba? It's really hard kasi hindi natin sila mahirap silang i-control. Okay. Yan. My another question is, which of the following are good action research topic or topics? So I have here three situations showing may mga research. So for A, yung first situation natin is 40% of my students failed the summative test. I found out that they did not review before the exam. As an intervention, I conducted online remedial classes involving the students who failed. Then everyone got a passing score. So for B naman, due to suspension of classes, we are not able to cover all the required competencies during the quarter. Hoping to cover the required competencies, I tried pure synchronous lecture, but it didn't work well. So I tried a blend of synchronous and asynchronous discussions to extend students' time of learning, and I found it effective. Okay, and letter C, I'm a school principal. I observed that many teachers fail to submit school reports on time. I think some of them are procrastinating since they work from home. Therefore, I talked to them one by one and convinced them to use their time productively. I think it resulted well since all of them were able to submit the reports on time on the succeeding month. Okay, I want you to choose, or letter D naman, all of the above. I want you to choose which of these situations or topics are good action research topics. Okay, so here are the responses. Hide ko muna yung responses. Okay, sige, let me see the response. Wait, ano pa lang? 51 pa lang out of 95. Sige, tingnan muna natin. Ayan, so far we have 32 for B, 12 for A, 1 for C, and 31 for D. Sige, later mag-aano ulit tayo. Now, ang question ko kanina is for you to identify which of these options or which of these topics are good research topics. Now, when we say action research, I know in the previous sessions, this was heavily discussed na. Pero for the sake of those who are new, since marami tayong new charmers, so action research, so this is one of the definitions of action research. So it's a process in which we examine. So if yung mga participants dito, yung teachers themselves or tayo mismo mga teachers, sabi nga ni Doc Celine and Doc Prudente, as teachers, we are already action researchers kasi ginagawa na natin to as we improve our teaching. Now, so we are examining, while doing action research, we are examining our educational practices with a systematically. And we have to carefully study our practice and then use the techniques of research in order to arrive a better solution to problems or para to better improve our practice. Now, we have different characteristics of action research. Now, baka natanong nyo, what's the difference between an action research and a normal research? Yung mga basic research. Okay, it's not action research if we are learning more about a topic that interests us. Ibig sabihin, let's say, if you want to know if what's our learning styles of our students, gusto lang nating mag-survey or nag-conduct tayo ng survey para malaman natin ano ba yung mga usual na ginagawa or yung what's the most common learning learning styles of our students. So kapag ganun lang, if your research ends there, it's not an action research. Or it's not a problem solving in a sense of looking for what is wrong. So let's say your students failed the exam or your students get bored easily in your class. And then you look for answers. Bakit sila bored? So since pag nalaman mo ning kung bakit sila mabilis ma-bored and then you end there, wala kang ginawa, so that's not action research. Or maybe may ginawa ka pero parang band-aid solution lang. Let's say, okay, halimbawa, yung problem ni Doc Celine before about cheating. Okay? Cheating sa mga assignments, let's say may binigay siyang problem sets. Usually nagkokopyahan lang yung mga students, di ba? Ganun naman kadalasan, may mga assignments nagkokopyahan. So that's her problem. So you have kung maranasan niyo yon, or if I experience the same thing, I have two options. Pwedeng i-ano ko yung mga students, let's say magbigay ako ng penalty or mag-demerits, or pwedeng isumbong ko sila, di ba? So possible na ma-solve yung problem na for the meantime, di ba? Pero if you ask yourself, will you prevent future instances na mag-cheat ulit yung mga students kapag ganun lang yung ginawa nyo? Why not? Okay, do the other way. So, ibahin niyo yung perspective nyo. Ang gagawin nyo is to change your current practice in such a way na ma-avoid yung ganon. So, ang ginawa ni Doc Celine, she utilized online assignments. So, that way na prevent niya yung cheating. So, hindi yung solution niya is not parang sabihin lang natin na band-aid solution or parang saglit lang. So, on action research, yung results nito maybe or kung hindi permanent, medyo matagal yung effect niya. Okay, so it's action research if a quest for knowledge about how to improve. You can also conduct surveys. Pwede niyong gawin to, learning more about a topic. Pero you learn more about a topic because ang purpose mo is to use yung results dun sa yung findings mo dun to improve your current practice. Okay? So that's action research. Wait. Oh. Okay. It's not action research if you're doing research on or about people. So if you're interested, let's say, you want to study a group of people or a group of students, and then, you end there, nalaman mo na, and then what? So that's not action research. So ang action research, it involves people working to improve their skills, techniques, and strategies. Usually, in doing action research, yung participants mo is part of the improvement. Okay, nagbibigay sila ng, let's say, yung mga co-teachers mo, or yung mga students mo, they are part of the improvement. Okay? Yung improvement of your practice. Lagi sinasabi, action research is improvement of your own practice. Okay? And lastly, action research is not learning why we do certain things. It is learning how we can do things better. It's important to know why we do certain things, kasi we can use that we can use that idea in order to improve our current teaching practice. Okay? So yan, these are the characteristics of action research na which is different from basic research na usual natin ginagawa, I mean. So kasi before, ma-share ko lang, kung naitanong nyo lang. So I was part of DepEd for, I think, mga 4 or 5 years. And during that time, I was actively participating in the division research team. And I thought I was conducting this action research the right way. So, but when I met, or parang naging mentor ko si Dr. Prudente, I discovered, or I learned, dun ko lang nalaman na, oh, I was not doing action research the right way. Kala ko pag may action research na. Pero hindi pala ganon. So action research is more on how you will improve your teaching practice. Okay? So that's why I'm telling you this. Kasi maybe some of you have a misconception on what action research is. Kasi I had that problem also. Na nagkaroon din ako ng misconception na pag may action research na. Okay, so with this in mind, with this idea, okay, how do we do action research? So ito yung favorite framework ko. Actually, ginagamit ko pa rin siya ngayon in my dissertation, and nagamit ko na siya previously sa thesis ko. So ito, we have I used 4 phases or 4 steps in conducting action research. So the first part is plan, in which we identify the objectives, kung bakit ko ginagawa yon, and then my questions, and then yung plan to carry out the cycle. So sino yung mga participants, kailan ko gagawin, what will be my proposed improvement. Okay, kaya kanina, di ba, I ask you to identify a problem and also ask you to describe your current setting. So yun yung purpose nun. So kasi that's part of the plan. Okay? And then the next step will be the do part, which is carrying out the plan. So i-implement mo na ngayon. So ito yung parang methodology natin, kung paano natin i-carry out yung mga pinagplanuhan natin based on our identified problems. So ito, document problems and unexpected observations. Actually, I find unexpected observations interesting. Kapag walang unexpected, parang ang boring, di ba? Kasi from those unexpected problems, yung mga usually, halimbawa may na-encounter ka na mahirap na problem na mahirap i-solve. So maganda yon kasi that will give you an idea of what to improve next, di ba? Yun yung gagawin mo sa susunod. So kasi kung lahat naging okay, wala ka na gagawin, di ba? Boring. And dito, while implementing, you are beginning to analyze your data. That's why reflection is part of action research. Sabi nga ni Dr. Prudente, you cannot do action research without reflecting. So kasi, paano mo malalaman yung problem if hindi ka nag-reflect? You ma-identify mo lang yung mga kakulangan mo, yung mga improve mo sa next cycle kapag nag-reflect ka. And the next step is the study. Okay, the study is complete the analysis of data. In this part, meron kang ano, di ba may na-collect ka na data, you have gathered enough data, o minsan, kapag nakita mo, ay hindi pa enough to para masabi ko na maganda yung nagawa. So maybe you can go back to the data gathering, and then after that, mag-reflect ka ulit. So in this study part, you also compare data to predictions. So ano ba yung expected outcome mo? So na-satisfy ba yung yung predictions mo? Na-answer ba yung questions mo? So if not, anong pwede mong improve? Okay? And then part of this is also summarize what you have learned. Of course, in this cycle, hindi lang yan basta it's a learning process. Action research is a learning process. So sa bawat step na gagawin mo, you are developing this idea or this knowledge para you know what to do in the next step. And finally, actually hindi siya finally kasi the process or the cycle continues. Okay, so yung last part ng first cycle is the act, which is what changes are to be made. Ayan, mas maganda na dapat yung reflection mo. I mean, mas magre-reflect ka. Kasi, iisipin mo ano yung mga nangyari during the planning stage, sa do stage, sa study stage, and then, i-incorporate mo, pagsasamahin mo lahat yon. And then, you will incorporate all those learnings on the next step. So, may mga nakita kang problems na sa ginawa mo. So, yun naman yung i-address mo. That's one area na pwede mong improve. And then, that's another action research cycle. So, by the way, action research is cyclical. Hindi siya natatapos. Or as long as may nakikita kang area of improvement, so kung perfect ka, wala ka ng hindi ka na mag-action research kasi wala kang nakikitang pwedeng improve sa sarili mo. Pero since if you admit that you are a teacher who can learn, who wants to learn, or who wants to improve the practice, then you will do action research. Okay? Next po. Ayan. So, gusto ko ulit, sa mga pinagsasabi ko, I want you to answer this question ulit. Now, same situations. Okay, is it A, B, C, or D? So you can input your answers. So ulitin natin yung kanina marami nag-answer ng A, may B, C. So kalat yung answers. So let's see. Hindi ko muna i-reveal. Tingnan natin. So ayan. Gawin natin hintayin natin maging 100 out of 114. By the way, yung mga bago po. To join the discussion, you can access joinpd.com and then input the codes STEBPJ. So remember, action research is a way to improve our own practice. So when doing action research kasi, minsan hindi natin pinapansin or although pinapansin natin, I mean, hindi natin pinapakialaman yung practice ng iba. Our concern is our own practice, kung paano natin ma-improve. Or maybe we can use other practices as our model, yung mga exemplary practices. Pwede nating gayahin yon. So may iba kasi na sabi, ayoko nang gawin yan kasi may gumawa na yan. No. Action research is you will use or you will utilize effective practices, yung mga practices ng iba para ma-improve mo yung sarili mo. So hindi porke marami nang gumagawa nun, hindi mo nagagawin. The fact na maraming gumagawa nun, it means na it's interesting, maybe it's effective, di ba? So why not try it? And then i-document nyo yung ginawa nyo and makikita nyo na ganito pala, effective din pala. So buti ginamit ko, di ba? So don't be discouraged or don't hesitate to do certain research na maraming gumagawa. Okay, so we have 59. Maybe I can show the responses na para makaproceed na tayo. Okay. So we have 11 for D. Then we have A. For A, we have 10. And then 1 for C. And 38 for B. May nagano pa may dumadagdag pa. But basically, mas marami yung ano dito, mas marami yung B. Which is, i-reveal ko na ba? Mag-proceed na ba tayo? Okay. It seems naman na mas marami yung sa B. Okay, so maybe we can now proceed. Actually, if we will follow or parang i-consider natin yung mga expectations when doing action research or yung mga rules, hindi man rules. Parang how do we do action research? So for me, A is not a good action research topic, same as C. Okay, and for me, B is a better action research topic. So why? Bakit nasabi ko na hindi maganda yung action research topic A? So first is ang problem niya is 40% of my students failed the summative test. So ito, I found out that they did not review before the exam. Okay, look at the intervention. I conducted online remedial classes involving those students who failed, and then they got a passing score. May action ba? Yes, may action, may intervention. Pero, may kinalaban ba siya sa pag-improve ng your own practice? Medyo, siguro, konti. Kasi maybe before, hindi siya nagkakandak ng action research or hindi siya nagkakandak ng remedial classes. And then this time, nagkandak siya. But, the idea is medyo parang band-aid solution yung kanyang remedial classes. Diba? I'm not saying this is wrong. So actually tama naman na bigyan natin ng solution or bigyan natin ng remedial classes yung mga students na nahihirapan mag-cope up with the lesson. Pero is the result, is the outcome, ano ba siya? Medyo magtatagal ba siya? Actually, di ba hindi? Kasi di ba, maybe in the next test, mangyari na naman. So mag-recur. It's a recurring problem. So hindi na-solve yung problem mismo or hindi na-address. Why not change your own practice para yung mga failed na students mabawasan, di ba? So 40%, so siguro pag na-improve mo yung practice mo, mag-reflect ka, ano bang problema sa practice ko? Ano bang problema sa ginagawa ko ngayon? So baka pag nangyari, pag ginawa mo yun, maybe 5% or 10% na lang yung mag-fail. And then yun na lang yung i-remedial classes mo. Okay? Now, ito. I'm a school principal. I observed that many teachers fail to submit online reports on time. So bakit sila nagsasubmit late on time? Ang ginawa ni principal, kinausap niya isa-isa, gamitin yung oras niyo na maayos. Huwag kayong tatamad-tamad. Ayun, syempre nag-effective naman. Pero is it a proper way to do things? I mean, is it a good action research topic? No. Kasi, di ba, for you to conduct, para masabi natin na action research, why not change the way teachers submit their reports or online reports? So maybe using parang that way, ma-improve natin, o yung mga teachers na, they will submit their outputs on time without telling them na ayusin mo yung trabaho mo. Di ba? So that's, I think, a proper way of doing that. Ayan. So that's why I feel like B is a better action research topic. Kasi ito, ayan. So hoping to cover required competencies. So ayan, may trinay siyang bago. Diba? I tried pure lecture, but it didn't work well. So may reflection doon. Ginawa ko na nga para mapabilis yung discussion namin. Pure synchronous lecture lahat. Ako lang yung nagsasalita. Pero hindi pa rin. So ngayon, trinay niyo yung blend of synchronous and asynchronous. So ayan, nagkaroon ng better time of learning yung mga students. So, and he found it effective. So that's a better action research topic. Okay. Now, eto. If you're given, let's say, nangyari sa inyo to. What if 40% of your students failed the summative test? What will be your proposed action? Ang solution kanina is to conduct remedial classes. But for us, it's not that good, although it's an action, but it's not a good solution, I think. So what will be your proposed action? Sige nga. I want to hear your ideas on this. Okay, your responses. No, wala pa. Okay, so let's see the responses now. By the way, for those who are new, okay, joinpd.com, and access joinpd.com, and then enter STEBPJ. You can use your laptop or any gadget. Okay, sige, let's see the responses now. Ayan, modify the test. Okay, so in what way should modify the test? Maybe siguro yung modify natin is the way we do or the way we construct our test, di ba? Yung mga questions sa test. So possible. Okay, conduct learning targets assessment about the lesson every format. Sige, hindi pa tapos. Okay, decrease level of exam difficulty and encourage students to give feedback of understanding the lecture. Create drills, okay, informative assessments that will lead. Ayan, so this is good. So may mga activities. Okay, maybe change of teachers' teaching strategies. Possible. Ayan, maganda to. So baka hindi effective yung ginagamit natin na teaching strategy. So maybe why not try other strategies that might work? So maraming research-based strategies na ginagamit nowadays which are also applicable in distance learning. Okay, start with assessment of the situation. Okay, that's good. Tanungin nyo ano ba yung anong problema mismo. Ayan, root cause analysis. That's good. Root cause analysis. Check the appropriateness and validity of the summative test. Okay. Although, sige. Make supplementary materials to supplement the learning of my students. Okay. Identify the reasons. So that's the first step. Look if your instructional objectives, method of instruction, and your assessment is aligned. Okay, that's good. Okay, use other forms of assessment tool. Okay. Reteach in a different approach. Okay. So this is assuming that parang siguro iniisip natin maybe the teaching approach is not appropriate or effective. Conduct remedial on specific competencies. Okay, so parang kapareho din nung kaninang problem, no? Although maybe this is a bit of a band-aid solution. So kasi in the future, baka maulit na naman yung pagbagsak nila. Okay, modification of test questions. We teach the lesson which they didn't understand. Okay. Make modules or activity sheets which is suitable to their level. Okay, so ito, make modules. This is good if we will maintain this. Parang we will do the same thing sa mga iba, sa mga next topics natin. Like, i-foresee na natin na okay, itong modules na to para ma-prevent. Okay, kasi parang it's better, prevention is better than cure. Parang bago pa natin ma-anticipate na may babagsak, dapat, or bago pa may bumagsak, dapat ma-anticipate na natin and masolusyonan natin yun beforehand. Okay? Identify their problem of difficulty and work on it. Okay? So while on the process of learning, habang hindi pa dumarating yung test, so, okay. Pre-test, okay, conduct reteaching, item analysis, give another test. For this, we can give another test. Baka yung exam natin yung mali or mahirap masyado, pwede. Pero the process should not end there sa pagbibigay lang. What if kapag nagbigay tayo ng another test, then nag-fail na naman yung mga students? So siguro hindi na yung exam yung mali. Yung may kasalanan, di ba? Maybe it's time to improve or to change our teaching. Okay, so there are lots of responses here. You can go back to this kapag binigay ko na yung results nito, yung okay. Now, how do we apply action research in our current teaching? Okay, paano natin may improve? Okay, we can look, let's take a look back yung pre-COVID situation natin, yung old normal. Okay, so kasi di ba before COVID, ano ba yung tinatawag natin na conventional teaching? Di ba yung lecture type, yung teacher center, yung tayo lang nagsasalita, and then the students are listening. And then through action research, we start to improve the teaching. And then we tried lots of teaching strategies. Okay. And then meron pa tayong tinawag na new normal teaching during the pre-COVID era. Era talaga. Okay. So yun, blended learning. Actually, blended learning is known as the new normal teaching. Kasi halos karamihan gumagamit ng blended learning. So parang yun yung naging new normal. Okay? So in parang di ba? As we improve our teaching, we shifted from teacher-centered teaching and then trinay natin or in-improve natin to a student-centered teaching. Mas naging involved yung mga students. And now, ngayong pandemic, so since meron ng dating new normal, so may title na blended learning na yun. Ngayon, merong newest normal. Kasi ito yung, meron ng title ng new normal eh. So I cannot say that this is the newest, I can say that this is the newest normal, yung distance learning natin. Okay, and in distance learning, maraming options na pwedeng gamitin. Okay, I'll ask you about that. Okay, what distance learning options do you currently use? Are you using purely online or synchronous, purely asynchronous, or a combination of synchronous and asynchronous online learning, or you're using printed modules or others? Actually, meron pang there are lots of options for distance learning. Pero since ito yung mas common sa atin ngayon, so ito lang yung in-include ko. So yan, we have 20. Ayan, so marami sa atin ang synchronous and asynchronous combination. Ayan. So meron din mga printed modules. So I know sa DepEd right now, they are using printed modules. Okay, so karamihan is a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. Okay, sa chat box. Let's see sa chat box. Okay, may mga C. Okay. Okay, noted po. C, sir. B and C. Okay. Okay, so nakikita, I guess, pinakamarami pa rin, kahit mag-add yung iba ng responses, is a combination of synchronous and asynchronous online learning. So it's good kasi almost everyone can relate to the discussion. Okay. Ngayon. So one of the options dito, or karamihan pala, itong tatlong to, this utilize technology, di ba? So, and that's digital learning. So, kasi di ba, asan na yung question na yun? Wala. Okay, sorry, may nawalang slide. Ayan. So ngayon, from the conventional, so let's say ang conventional na natin is yung kasi di ba currently lahat tayo distance learning. Okay, and one of the options is digital learning. So ngayon, digital learning is also known as internet-based training, online learning, e-learning, web-based training, and network learning. Okay, so ito, digital learning is defined as, as long as we use or we deliver the instruction through internet, we use digital materials or tools. So to improve our teaching, that is digital learning. Okay. Now, when it comes to digital learning, how proficient are you, or how proficient am I with digital learning? Okay. Are you a novice, intermediate? You can apply digital learning practically, or you can apply the theories, or you're already a recognized authority when it comes to digital learning. Na kapag sinabing digital learning, ay ikaw yun. So let's see yung level of proficiency. Okay. 23 yung intermediate. Wow. May 9 tayo na advanced, no? 10. It's good to know na iba-iba yung level of natin dito. Yung level of proficiency natin when it comes to intermediate digital learning, kasi not only I can give you insights, so siguro yung mga advanced natin dito, yung mga proficient na, they can also share their expertise or yung insights nila on digital learning. So, and 59 responses. Okay. So, karamihan intermediate, no? Although may ilan tayo mga novice, pero wala pang expert. Okay, sige. Now, ayan. So, ngayon, what do you think is or are the most essential aspects of digital learning? Sige nga, can you input your responses? So, what do you think are the most essential aspects of digital learning? So, here are the responses. Okay, engagement, readiness of students. Okay, attitude to embrace, engagement, sleep class, teacher readiness, Okay, establishing cognitive and social presence. Okay, okay. Pagpasensya nyo kung may aso sa background. We have 3 dogs here na makukulit. Ayan, so conducive digital learning environment, managing behaviors, okay. Acceptance, motivation, readiness, LMS to use. Okay, so connectivity. Ayan, sige. So you can give your insights pa rin. You can still give the responses. Okay. So by the way, divisions or digital learning has 4 divisions. The first one is yung mga digital learning materials natin. Ano ba yung mga pwede? So mga e-books, mga online videos. So those are some of the digital teaching materials that we can use or we can utilize in digital learning. Next is yung mga digital tools. So important na meron tayong gadgets or meron tayong desktop computers, may cellphone, okay, or tablet computers that we are gonna use. Kasi pag wala ito, wala nang digital learning. And of course, meron ding digital delivery. So important yung internet, ayan, or yung satellite broadcasting. I think yung ginagawa ngayon ng DepEd, like they are may yung sa TV, yung pinapalabas nila yung mga lessons. So I think that's also one type of digital learning. Okay. And lastly is the autonomous learning. It's important for us for our students to develop autonomous learning. So isa to sa mga dapat i-focus natin. Kasi the difference between digital learning and yung dating ginagawa natin is nandun tayo sa classroom, nag-guide natin sila. Pero here, mahirap kasi hindi natin sila makikita, nagmi-meet lang tayo, nagmi-meet lang sa online, sa video, sa conferencing, di ba? So yung autonomous learning, important to. Okay. Now, ano pa yung mga iba't ibang action research opportunities? Ano pang pwede natin na improve sa practice natin sa digital learning? Okay. So ito. Kasi 'di ba, yung distance learning natin, yung digital learning, siguro may ang pinaka conventional way na sa digital learning is yung teacher centered, which is yung teacher nagsasalita and then yung students nakikinig on the other side or di ba? Yung using may Zoom conference. So ang pinaka conventional way na is yung nagsasalita lang si teacher, so nakikinig lang si students. And now, how can we improve? Okay? So that's we can improve by the 21st century digital learning. Okay. Bakit ko siya tinawag na 21st century digital learning? Kasi I incorporated 3 frameworks. Okay, ito yung these are the elements of the 21st century education. So the first framework is yung pedagogy. So these are actually 21st century pedagogies. So yung pedagogy, ang focus niya is on self-determined learning. So yung students can parang may say yung mga students when it comes to what they want to learn, how will they learn, how will they assess their own learning. So yun yung pedagogy. It focuses on self-determined learning. Ang pedagogy, it focuses on co-learning, so more on collaboration with other students, with the teacher, and pwede rin sa pwede sa mga experts. They can connect with experts and they collaborate with them. So that's pedagogy. And lastly is yung cybergogy, which focuses on the engagement. Okay, we cannot discuss them all, these 3 frameworks deeply. So ang ginawa ko na lang is I Ayan. I combined, parang kinuha ko lang yung intersection of the three frameworks, and these are the common, parang yung intersection ng tatlo. So the first one is the autonomous learning, which is part of yung normal na digital learning. So sa autonomous learning, ano bang kailangan dyan? So pag autonomous, of course, students are independent and self-paced. Okay? Paano natin magagawa na maging independent ang mga students? Of course, although kailangan din nung synchronous online naman nagsasalita si teacher, pero not all the time possible yon. So, mas maganda na mayroong asynchronous class, which is, halimbawa, we utilize playlist. Okay? Yung lesson playlist, self-paced yon. Kung gusto ng students na gawin siya ngayon, gagawin niya. Pero kung ayaw niya, sa sunod na lang. Pero gagawin pa rin niya at the end of yung kung may due date kayong binigay. So at least self-paced yung mga students. Hindi sila kailangang parang gumising na maaga kasi maaga yung online class nyo. Okay, self-determined learning. So when we say self-determined learning, ano siya? Yung sinasabi ko kanina, may say yung mga students when it comes to what they want to learn. So ano to? Parang connected din siya personalized learning. Halimbawa, ang delivery mo is through online videos. So hindi lang isa, mas maganda kung hindi lang iisang video ang ibibigay mo sa kanila. Let's say, meron kang set of videos, let's say 5 videos na iba-iba yung themes, pero pareho lang ng competency na ina-address. So ang maganda doon, students can choose, ay gusto ko to, anime to. So, or gusto ko to parang Taglish. Okay, ito naman, ay gusto ko to full English. So students can decide whether he or she will watch this video or not, or yung isang video naman. It also applies, yung personalized learning also applies to assessments. Let's say, hindi lang isang klase ng assessment ang ibibigay nyo. And pwede silang mag-negotiate. Actually, meron dito yung may pinagawa ko sa mga students ko, let's say, nag-suggest sila kung anong gusto nilang gawin. And then, syempre, may negotiation. In-approve ko yung iba sabi, ay, kulang yan. So, as part, although may pa din, autonomous learning, may say pa rin ako. Okay? So, ito. Ayan. These are some of the, perception or feedback of my students. So, actual siya. The positive side of online learning environment for me is less hassle, and I can make use of it any time of the day. I mean, yung learning, yung LMS namin. I could also perform other things simultaneously. The negative side, it is not applicable for those students who do not have any access to internet. And ito, the interactions and freedom to choose, ayan, what to do. So for him, it's the most effective. Everyone is unique and has different talents. So having to pick what activity you can do the best really highlights the teaching strategy. So ayan, gumamit ako ng in-apply ko tong mga principles na to. And then ito yung na feel nila. Okay? Okay, now, as a teacher, what is your role in autonomous learning? Kasi di ba baka sabihin, ay autonomous na yung mga students, wala nang same teacher. So, what do you think what is your role? Okay, facilitator. Laging ganyan. Facilitator, engage. Okay, teacher is the facilitator. Give feedbacks, ayan, or feedback. So it's important na magbigay tayo ng feedback. And through LMS, pwede tayong magbigay ng immediate feedback. Halimbawa, may quiz or meron silang pinasa na output. So pwede tayong mag-comment on that. Diba? And guide, motivator, okay? Provide guidance and follow them. Kasi diba parang ang sinasabi ng iba, yung mga teachers ngayon wala nang ginagawa kasi yung magulang na yung nag-guide sa mga students. Pero hindi. Ang totoo, mas malaki yung pressure sa atin, di ba? Okay, ayan. More on feedback. Okay, close monitoring of the students. Okay, thank you for the responses. O, sige, siguro na natin, no? Kasi medyo naubusan na tayo ng time. Okay, next is collaboration. So, ito, di ba sa face-to-face class, nagbibigay tayo ng different activities in order to parang engage students, magkaroon ng collaboration between them. Okay, ngayon, it's a challenge for us teachers on how we will promote collaboration among our students. So, pwede pa rin tayong magpa-group activity. So, we can use like Jamboard, pwede rin yung Google Slides, Google Docs, okay, wherein they can work simultaneously on a certain task. So yan. So that promotes collaboration. So pwede rin tayo magbigay ng group project in which may may messaging app naman, may messenger naman, they can talk. So at least hindi sila nag-work on parang sila lang, di ba? At least meron pa ring factor yung collaboration. Okay. Now, self-check. How well do I understand the topic being discussed? Sige nga, self-check. Quick self-check. So, 1, I don't understand it. Number 2, understand with the little help. And I understand it and can do it by myself. And 4, I understand and can explain it to a colleague. So, let's see the responses. Okay, good. Buti naman walang naglagay ng 1, no? Meron. So, ayun, nawala. Buti naman. Okay, so, malaki yung sa 4 and 3. Okay, that's good. May negative 1. Okay, so I think maganda naman yung result, I think. So ito, hindi ko lang kayo tinanong, siguro part na rin yung yung para malaman ko yung yung response nyo on this. But I also did it on purpose kasi this is one example of the third essential characteristics of 21st century digital learning, which is reflection and metacognition. So it's important that we incorporate reflection and metacognition in our teaching. Kasi di ba, in order to learn better, dapat yung mga students natin know how to reflect. And meron yung metacognitive skills nila is ma-develop. Kasi it's important. It's an important or it's an essential aspect of autonomous learning or independent learning, that they can assess their own practice. Okay. Ayan. So, reflection, examples of reflection, ayan yung self-check, yung pinagawa ko sa inyo kanina. You can also incorporate think aloud strategy. Let's say you have activities. So, may sa end nung question, parang how do I assess myself? Yung tatanungin nila yung sarili nila. Okay, and then isusulat nila yun. You can also use reflective journals. So kasi di ba, hindi niyo sila kasama araw-araw, unlike nung face-to-face, nakikita niyo sila or natin sila. Through reflective journals, malalaman natin, ito palang ginagawa nila sa bahay. So ganun. And ito, I also utilize video-based journals. So we all actually, Dr. Prudente and I, nakapag-publish kami ng isang article about this, about video-based journals. You can access the link for this ACM link. Although dito kasi may bayad. So you can just look at this sa ResearchGate ko, and then mag-request lang kayo ng access ng article. And then doon yung makikita nyo doon yung experience ko on using video-based journals. So parang ano to, nag-vlog yung mga students. So instead na sinusulat nila yung mga journals nila, so to encourage them to reflect, parang binivideo nila yung sarili nila. Although, again, as part of self-determined learning, bigyan natin sila ng options. Wag natin silang pilitin, ay mag-video ka. Ay hindi naman nila gusto yun, hindi naman shy type sila, di ba? So, pwedeng may options. So, you can give them parang ano, yung option to decide. Okay. And lastly, part of this is engaged learning. Ayan. So, paano ba natin masasabi na engage yung mga students? Okay, this is following the principles of cybergogy. So, for us to have cognitive presence, pag sinabi natin cognitive presence, merong self-regulated learning, merong generative learning. So, paano natin malalaman or paano natin magagawa na magkaroon ng cognitive presence? So, syempre, ang gagawin natin, we have to, yung mga activities, di ba? And then, actually, ang ginawa ko before, nag-post ako ng question sa ano namin, sa group or sa LMS. And then the students can comment their views or answers on that. And then, pwede rin silang mag-debate do sa comment box. So, walang as long as wala silang sinasabing masamang words, all responses are welcome. So that, I guess, can promote cognitive presence. And next is emotive presence. Hindi lang pala cognitive. Mas kailangan i-consider din natin yung nafe-feel ng mga students. Okay, are they feeling confident? Are they feeling secure, comfortable, curious? Actually, ang response ng mga students ko dito, they are comfortable, especially yung sa online discussion, nakakapag-participate kasi 'di ba, yung iba nahihiya sa face-to-face. Pero in the online learning, they can freely interact, they can give their parang ganito, 'di ba? Hindi naman kayo nahihiyang mag-share ng ng mga insights nyo. Kasi nga parang feeling nila hindi sila ma-judge. 'Di ba? Ganon. So that's how you engage learners in terms of emotive presence. Okay, and lastly is social presence, which is dapat hindi nawawala. So ayan, we have to promote sharing, yung cohesiveness, and then yan, maganda rin yung acceptance. Yung views nila, dapat ma-feel nila na may yung suggestions nila nagmamatter, diba? So hindi yung parang walang batang na left behind. And of course, collaborative learning. Okay, so medyo binilisan ko na po kasi kulang na sa oras. Ito. Siguro ito na lang. Yang last 2 slides, I think. Okay, suggest possible ways to promote engaged learning in a digital environment. Sige, para yung iba, so makikita din ng response, ito pala pwede. Okay, let's see. Okay, gamification. Okay, good. And simulation video, interactive. Actually, yung ginagamit ko, right, nung sa dissertation ko is, gumamit ako ng Edpuzzle, wherein yung mga students, may, sila, parang they can access the online videos anytime they want, and then, in between yung mga actually sa loob ng videos magpo-pause yung video tapos may magde-display na question, and then para mag-proceed yung video kailangan mo na lang answer yung question. So that's one way to engage them doon sa video mismo, hindi lang sila manonood. So that's Edpuzzle. Ayan, so use simulation. Ayan, so this is sa physics, we use PhET simulation. Maraming simulations. Pwedeng, okay, interactive strategies, install public Wi-Fi. At least, okay. So siguro sa medyo mabigat na to when it comes to teachers kasi parang hindi natin sakop yan. Gamification, okay. Games with real-time scoring. So ayan, immediate feedback. Okay, so ngayon, ayan. So let's go back to our, yung kaninang activity natin to end this talk. So again, you can click this link and or scan the QR code and then pupunta ulit tayo dito. Okay, ngayon, what I want you to do is, di ba may problem kayo kanina? Now, what will be your proposed change or changes or improvement? And then, ano yung expected outcome nyo? And how will you measure the outcome? Ayan, ito, reduce the numbers of class size to manageable size. So, although, ang issue dito baka, or siguro kung internal arrangement ng teacher and students, pwede. Okay, ayan. Poor internet connection. Ay, hindi. Bala yan. So, pre-recorded lecture. Ayan, pwede. So, but actually, I'm using videos from YouTube. Kasi, di ba, ang goal ko is to provide as many videos as possible, yung variety of videos. So, hindi ako gumamit ng sarili kong videos kasi during that time, hindi pa ako confident on my, parang yung pagsasalita ko sa video. And that's one thing I am developing right now, or parang improving. So at least, maybe on some future, meron na ako nung self-made videos ko na ako yung nagsasalita. Ayan, so organize, network, community, okay. So ito, use of laboratory simulation, use of lesson playlist for autonomous learning to increase student motivation. Okay, and ito, increased student motivation and engagement. Okay. So how will I measure? Siguro, let's say gagamit kayo ng this kind of instrument or maggaganda kayo ng interviews, ganon. Okay, so siguro, you can work on that, siguro. Kasi kahit di ko naman i-close. So, ayan, you can access that. Actually, kahit tapos na to, since meron na kayong link on this, so pwede nyo yan. Makakuha kayo ng mga ideas dyan. So, again, this is sharing, di ba? Sharing to. So, para at least yung iba nating mga colleagues, yung mga kaguro natin dito, they might have, makakuha sila ng idea on how to improve their practices. So, sige lang po, keep on doing this. So, baka yung iba may same problem as yours. Okay, so that ends my talk. Thank you very much for listening. And I highly appreciate the interaction. So, sobrang thank you.
Grabe, okay. Isang masigabong palakpakan for JP. Ang galing-galing. Ang dami kong natutunan sa JP.
Thank you po.
The whole time. Okay, sige. Thank you so much. At time check is 11:42. Okay.
Really good. So interactive.
Yeah. Thank you so much, JP. I think we have
by rule
about 10 minutes Q&A. Unahin ko na, JP, kasi I have this question that I wanted to,
Yes, po, Doc.
So you said you've been using this video journal, and then you said you actually provide options, okay, for
Yes.
students who probably are too shy to take a video of them. What other options did you provide, if I may ask?
Yes po. Written journals po.
So kung hindi video journal, so is the
Written.
old
Yes.
school written journal. I say, baka ako meron pang iba. Thank you for that. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes,
okay, sige. At this point, if you have any questions, I'll be reading comments and questions from the chat box. Mukhang wala tayong masyadong questions. Mukhang very satisfied ang ating mga listeners, okay? But if you have, some points to clarify with the speaker, now is the time. What I can see from the chat box ay puro Thank you and thank you lahat.
Thank you din po sa
Okay.
inyo.
JP, most of our participants are actually asking for the copy of your slides. Will that be okay?
Sure po. Yes po.
Okay, so how do we go about it?
Siguro po sa ano lang, I'll give the Google Drive link, including yung
That's
inputs nila.
You can just
Yes
post
po.
here the link to your Google Drive. Ano? Okay, see.
Yeah po. Sige.
Pre-measure natin si JP, so now he's going to share the PDF copy of his slides. Thank you, JP. Okay, let me just read some of the questions here. This is from Eric Jandiel. Would it be okay to have a comparative study when doing action research? For instance, having two different teaching approaches to determine which is more effective.
Yes po. That's actually okay. So kasi tinitingnan mo dito which one will will give a better result, di ba? And then kung alin yung mas okay, and then good. So yun yung magagamit mo, or maybe in the future yun yung gagamitin mo to improve your practice. So it's actually okay to have comparatives. Pero ang ano lang natin dito so medyo dapat gawin nating ethical kasi baka merong yung isang class ma-left behind. Diba? Parang ganon.
That's right. The other action research experts, you can also add to the discussion if you wish. Nakita ko andito si Dennis, andito si Doc Inday. Okay, please feel free to join in the discussion. Sige, JP, people are asking the link on how to make the interactive videos. Okay, I also am interested in your interactive videos. Okay.
Edpuzzle po. Sige, I will type it.
Puzzle.
Edpuzzle.com.
Edpuzzle.
So, ano po yun? May free sila. Although may limit lang yung videos na na pwede nyong gamitin. So, ang ginagawa ko na lang, since ayoko magbayad, pagtapos na yung lesson, so dinidelete ko na yung video. Sinisave ko na yung mga inputs nila, yung mga yung mga responses nila.
So that's good. At least, I mean, we can work around that one. We don't really have to pay, I mean, especially if the fee is exorbitant. Yeah. So that's a good strategy. Is this Nick Peñares? Thank you so much, Sir JP. Dr. Lee, thanks for accommodating teachers from DepEd. Of course, okay. And that's the reason why Nick is a regular attendee of our ARAL. That's the reason why we are conducting this ARAL online lecture series in preparation for the next ARAL, okay? So those who have just attended our ARAL online lecture series, okay, we are hosting this lecture series every Monday, hence charm.
Actually, it's not just the species. You can focus on
to equip
reviewing studies in terms of methodology
action research, with the hope that by the time the ARAL 21 will be staged again, crossing our fingers. Okay, we have not made announcements on that yet. We hope to see you all there. Okay, we are still rooting for a face-to-face ARAL 2021. But if there is no other option but to go fully online, then we will announce the one. But definitely there will be ARAL 2021. So we skip the ARAL 2020. Of course, I mean, it's understandable, but we are working towards ARAL 2021, and we hope for the participation of our regular charmers here. Okay, we learn a lot from our speakers every Mondays. I'm still looking for more questions here. Do you have other questions?
Focusing
there is one.
Physiological.
Sure. Sabi ni Richard.
Richard, yeah, Richard.
There is a standard format. Is there a standard format in making an action research, or are we going to follow the DepEd format? Yeah, that's a very important question too, because apparently DepEd has meron silang template or a format. How about the other institutions, just like your school? Do you have a standard format? Thanks. So, naku Richard, marami nang na-discuss ng mga approaches sa action research, si Dr. Aguha, si Dr. Bing, and all, okay? I-plug ko lang, JP, before you answer.
Yes po.
If you missed the previous action research online lecture series, they are all uploaded in our YouTube channel. Okay, please do check. DLSU at leader at DLSU, sorry, leader at DLSU, okay? All the former action research online lectures are uploaded in there. If you miss the very important ones, I can recall Dr. Agujas, Dr. Bing, sina Dennis, okay, kina Rodney, andun lahat, Dr. Brydon Miller, si Dr. Alontaga, it's all there, okay? So please do access the former, I mean the previous lectures para makakuha kayo ng tips on how to do action research. Okay, you can now answer the question, and Dr. Aguja is also here to join in the conversation. JP?
Yeah.
Yes po.
Sige, JP,
ako na po ba? Ako na po ba?
Sige, go ahead.
Sa format, yep.
Yung format. Kasi po, naging part din ako ng DepEd and meron talagang format. So siguro, it depends on kung saan yung gagamitin. So if it's intended for DepEd, and then you have to follow DepEd's format, so you have to. Pero yung action research kasi wala talaga siyang format. Ang ano siya, the way of teaching, the way of writing action research is parang sinusulat mo siya na kinikwento mo siya. Ano yung ginawa mo?
Okay.
So it's like telling your story. So actually, ako nagsusulat ako, may I pa yan. Yung first person. Okay? So wala talagang hindi required na third person. So ang format is ikaw. Ikaw yung gagawa ng sarili mong format. Kasi i-state mo, ikwento mo kung paano mo siya ginawa. That's action research.
Okay, to add on it, the De La Salle University have come up with a format for the students to follow when writing an action research. Okay, I and Dr. Prudente have tried to align the format that of the DepEd, because we were training the DepEd in Region 10, and they were claiming that it's not in the alignment of the prescribed format for action research by DepEd. So we aligned it. Ibala ang pangalan nyo. For example, chapter 1 is the plan. Chapter 2 is the do. So we aligned with it. So there's no problem with it anymore. DepEd and the DLSU format is almost the same. So walang problema doon.
I see. I got that same question too. I mean, DepEd has apparently set us a template or a format. Okay, can they digress from the format? And I think yes. Okay, hindi lang po.
Of course, if the teachers are applying for a funding using an action research, so of course you have to follow the DepEd format. Otherwise, hindi kayo mapa-fundingan.
Okay, sige po. Here's another from Alvin in Sorio. Hi, Alvin, a regular charmer here. Can you suggest possible interventions to improve new normal teaching and learning for printed modular distance learning despite inadequacy of resources?
Yeah.
Very
okay. So actually, medyo limited yung ko dito kasi I'm not teaching right now, and siguro ang possible improvement dito kasi yung yung pamangkin ko din is nagmo-module ng ganyan. So, if possible, meron tayong kasi may mga students naman na meron naman sila mga gadgets, diba? Although, pumasok pa rin sila sa option na printed module. So, mas maganda siguro na meron tayong videos pa din. So, siguro yung, halimbawa, yung parent kukunin yung module. So, pwede silang mag-copy ng videos from you, or pwedeng i-upload mo sa Facebook. So, ganon. So, para at least hindi lang yung module yung kanilang babasahin. At least may option sila na manood ng videos. Siguro yun yung isa sa pinaka-okay na solution na pwedeng i-improve.
Yeah, I agree. So, I agree with you.
Yung videos naman pwedeng sa cellphone lang. Kahit putyo-putyong cellphone yan.
Yeah.
Putyo-putyo.
Kasi yun naman ang sila, may access.
Yes.
Okay. There's another question from Virgil. Okay, but anyway, may I just remind everyone, we made this very clear. We do not accept gadget names or code names or nicknames. Okay.
Yes, yes.
parang Acer, iPhone, as much as possible, we
Lenovo.
participants to be legit participants. Okay, you probably know that there are some security issues of a Zoom. Okay, and we experienced that one, and that's why we are very clear on that one. We want you to use your, legitimate names, the first name and the last name. I understand for some departments kasi they put the university or the department or parang may mga code numbers. That's perfectly okay as long as you also include your full name. Okay? So hindi namin tinatanggap yung mga butterfly something o kaya yung mga blah, 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 and so on and so on. And we send messages to participants who have those kinds of names. Okay, there's another one from, so nasagot na ba natin yung kay Virgil? In action research, is it necessary all the time to provide statistical tools for the effectivity of the intervention?
Okay, that's a good question. So hindi po necessary na meron tayong statistical tools, especially when we are doing, when we're dealing with qualitative data. So halimbawa may mga interviews tayo, so hindi na kailangan ng statistical tools. So mas maganda nga yung yung mga interviews, reflective journals, yung mga i-analyze natin para at least we can see the realm, di ba? Yung reality. Okay? So kasi may mga instances na or may mga attributes na hindi na-capture ng mga survey. Okay? So hindi requirement ang statistical tool.
I see.
In addition to that, there could be maybe siguro iniisip nila na bakit kailangan ba ng mga gadgets or application to analyze the qualitative data. Actually, meron naman tayo, no? Pero yung sinasabi statistical, probably kasi ang qualitative data hindi naman numbers yun. So
yes.
we could analyze them using apps, no? That we could get from online, yung mga libre na naman. May mga libre naman, so why do we have to pay? So yan, according yung qualitative data, for example, may need some applications, no? So kahit hindi siya statistical tool, pero need siya to in the analysis of the qualitative data. Like for example, yung workers na ginagamit ni Ma'am Frosel, in vivo na ginagamit ni Sir Noel, something like that, no? Prisma na ginagamit ni Sir Aris. So these are those applications that you can use in analyzing your qualitative data. Yan lang, additional lang yun.
Mag-overtime tayo ng konti ha, guys. Mag-overtime tayo ng konti because we had very rich discussion naman coming from JP, okay? The leader office already posted in the chat box the access to the leader's YouTube channel. I hope that you will subscribe. I have already received notifications that some of the participants here already subscribed to the DLSU leader YouTube channel so that you can watch the previous lectures, okay? Leads will be posting also the link to the evaluation forms. May I now call on Steven? Steven, for the nth time, please do raise your question now.
Nawawala kasi siya.
I understand kasi medyo
internet connectivity problem.
Okay, Steven, are you still here? What happened?
Yes, okay na po.
Okay,
go ahead, Steven. Yes. I love your hair. Okay.
Okay.
Raise your
Thank
question.
you. Because I've been involved with distance learning, when I say distance learning for ALS natin, hardly have good net connection. So we classify students whose bandwidth have high, low, medium, ganon. And we're recently having problems with open-ended questions sa mga modules because these open-ended modules, for example, kasi it's all about sex education, gender, and development. For example, questions like, should students have access to condoms without parental consent? Diba this kind of questions should be addressed, should be processed immediately. How do we deal with this kind of questions na with students whose bandwidth are really poor?
Okay, that's a real problem po talaga. Paano ba yun?
Okay. Sabihin mo na.
Parang hindi natin ma-address.
Problema talaga yan.
But you know, if I may just interrupt, Rod has been interviewed recently by TV and all stations that I know, all about his approach.
Rodney? Si Rodney ba?
Parang those students who do not have internet connection, okay, parang he calls them for something. I mean, he uses his phone to connect with the students, okay? We will feature again Rodney in our charm, don't worry, okay? And he's going to specifically talk about that approach that has become viral recently, okay? But you know, I understand it, Steven, that's really the challenge for all teachers at the moment. That's the end of the question kapag internet connection ang problema. And
yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, if it's really the problem, how do you suggest a strategy na lang kaya or method on the part of the trainers? Kasi diba, if it's not addressed or processed immediately, baka may ibang connotation sa bata. What if
may ongoing din na lecture sa kabila. Pasensya na. But I hope you got that one. Doc Aguha and JP. Yeah.
Ano po, siguro possible na lang natin na ma-address yun doon sa module itself. Let's say meron tayong follow-up questions or follow-up, may mga ano na, parang may question, and then yung response ng student, and then may follow-up palagi. Or parang may disclaimer na doon sa ilalim, or parang may konting discussion sa ilalim. Siguro yun yung magagawa natin.
I think that's a good suggestion po. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for the meantime. Yeah, Dr. Dita, I think we have to invite again Rodney, the one he's using without the internet connectivity.
That's right. Okay, we have already featured Rodney here, but
nasa CNN kasi yun ang nakita ko.
Another, yes, iba yung kanyang topic. So magpapaschedule tayo kay Rodney. Mahaba yata ang kanyang ngayon, pila sa mga interviews niya.
Hindi naman hindi sa atin yan.
Hindi makakaindi. But you know, please do watch out for that one. We will be featuring.
Yeah. Text ko siya ngayon.
Thank you very much po kasi the topics I've been handling, God, sexual education, medyo tricky, medyo sensitive din po na topic. Kaya as much as possible, I do not want to leave that unprocessed. Opo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Steven. So at this point, medyo na-address natin lahat ang mga questions anyway. Thank you so much. So, yes, Liz, you may now post the link to the evaluation. We have also posted here the link to our YouTube channel. And JP also posted the link to the PDF. Okay, I hope you guys will be able to access everything that we posted here. Anyway, we have the whole day not really the whole day. I mean, the next probably 60 minutes to access all the links here. Okay. So at this point, we'd like to invite you to our next lecture on Monday. Thank you, JP. Sandali lang muna.
Thank you po.
We're running out of time kasi 12:04. Sige. Liz, please do flash the certificate of appreciation for JP. Dr. Aguha, may we request you to.
Okay.
Yes. Do the honors of awarding to our featured speaker. Okay, the certificate of appreciation.
Okay.
Overtime po tayo ng konti ha, participants. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, the De La Salle University, Brother Andrew Gonzalez FSC College of Education, BAGCED, the Sallian Institute for Development and Educational Research, Leader and Action Research, Action Learning, ARAL, present this certificate of appreciation to Mr. J.P. Limweco, for conducting the DLSU BAGCED Leader ARAL online lecture series entitled Action Research in the 21st Century Digital Learning, Improving the New Normal Teaching, held on October 26, 2020, 10 a.m. to 12 noon via Zoom. Signed, Dr. Raimundo Sison, Dean BAGCED. Signed, Dr. Shirley Indita, Director Leader, and Dr. Maricaris Prudente, Congress Chair ARAL 2020. Congratulations, JP, and thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you so much. Really, we learned a lot from your sharing today. So yeah, thank you very much again. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Dr. Aguha.
Thank you
And
po.
Thank you, everyone. See you Monday.
Thank you so much. I hope you have accessed all the links that we posted in the chat box. We're not going to end this meeting yet for those who are doing the evaluation link, okay? Thank you. Yung mga usual na mga faces, okay?
Miss you. Uwi ka na.
Mga charmers talaga, yung mga die-hard charmers, okay? Hope to see you again in our next session, in our next part. Please do spread the news. We have this community habit of action research on Mondays or charm. So be a charmer if you aren't a charmer yet, okay? And please do invite your colleagues next time, okay? Thank you again, JP, Dr. Aguha. We hope to see Dr. Bing next time. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you po. Bye.
Bye.